On February 28, 2026, a joint military operation begins, Operation Epic Fury. But this is not just another military campaign. It is a blueprint. Today, we will demonstrate how modern warfare is no longer fought in single domains. Today, we will see how modern warfare is fought across layered, synchronized systems designed to overwhelm not just defenses, but decision-making itself. In this video, we will explore not only the specific weapon systems deployed by the United States, but also the masterful operational architecture that made the strike so lethal. The 5 layers of its architecture. Each one is independent. Each one is interconnected. Each one is designed to amplify the others. This is the anatomy of modern, multi-domain warfare. Layer 1. Drones and unmanned systems. The persistent presence. LUCAS, low-cost unmanned combat attack system. Operation Epic Fury marks the first-ever combat deployment of these single-use kamikaze drones. Manufactured by Spectre Works, they are designed as affordable mass weapons to overwhelm enemy air defenses, conceptually similar to Iran's Shahed drones, but deployed in massive swarms by the US. MQ-9, Reapers, unmanned aerial vehicles utilized for surveillance, intelligence gathering, and targeted precision strikes. In modern warfare, whoever controls the airspace wins. But before the United States could send in its multi-million-dollar stealth fighters, it had to neutralize Iran's formidable anti-aircraft grids. Enter CENTCOM's Task Force Scorpion strike in the LUCAS, the low-cost, unmanned combat attack system. Launched in unprecedented massive swarms, these one-way kamikaze drones acted as the ultimate expendable Vanguard. Their primary mission wasn't even to destroy, it was to bait the trap. By overwhelming Iranian airspace, the LUCAS swarms forced air defense operators to panic, activate their targeting radars, and fire their expensive interceptors. The moment those radars lit up, their coordinates were locked in, exposing the entire defense grid to what came next. Layer 2. Missiles and ground artillery. Firing from the shadows, Tomahawk land attack missiles, TLAM. Long-range, precision-guided cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers and submarines. They can strike targets up to 1,000 miles inland and were used heavily in the opening salvos. M142 HIMARS, High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. Truck-mounted, highly mobile rocket launchers deployed by ground forces to fire the new Precision Strike Missile, PRSM, and other long-range munitions. Their mobility allows them to shoot and scoot to avoid counter-battery fire. Air defense systems. Patriot and THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, batteries have been heavily activated across the Middle East to protect U.S. bases and allied nations by intercepting retaliatory ballistic missile strikes. When the radars were exposed, the U.S. unleashed a standoff barrage from hundreds of miles away. From the waters of the Persian Gulf, Navy destroyers and silent submarines fired waves of Tomahawk land attack missiles. Hugging the terrain to evade detection, these cruise missiles systematically obliterated the exposed early warning radars and anti-ship batteries along the coast, carving a safe corridor into Iranian airspace. Simultaneously, U.S. ground forces stationed in allied nations went to work using the M142 HIMARS. Armed with the new Precision Strike Missile, these highly mobile, truck-mounted rocket systems targeted regional Revolutionary Guard command nodes. Their deadly advantage? They could shoot and scoot. Within seconds of firing their payloads, the trucks relocated, completely neutralizing any threat of retaliatory counter-battery fire. Layer 3. Strike aircraft and bombers. The heavy hitters. B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, America's premier long-range stealth bombers. They have been deployed using 2,000-pound precision-guided bombs to target Iranian ballistic missile installations, as well as 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, bunker busters, to strike deeply buried nuclear facilities. F-35 Lightning II, fifth-generation stealth fighters used to evade radar, deliver precision-guided weapons, and locate or destroy enemy air defense networks. F-22 Raptors, advanced stealth air superiority fighters. F/A-18 Super Hornets, multi-role fighter jets operating from U.S. Navy aircraft carriers for both air-to-air and air-to-ground strike missions. F-16 Fighting Falcons, multi-role fighter aircraft utilized for extensive bombing and strike runs. A-10 Thunderbolt II, twin-engine attack aircraft deployed for close air support and targeting ground assets. Now, the corridor was open. It was time to gut the most heavily fortified targets in the country, the deep underground nuclear enrichment facilities at Fordow and Natanz. Flying an exhaustingly continuous 37-hour round trip directly from the continental United States, B-2 Spirit stealth bombers slipped through the weakened radar grid. They dropped the colossal 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator. These kinetic bunker busters punched straight through solid rock and reinforced concrete, permanently collapsing the subterranean nuclear network. Behind the bombers came the massive mop-up phase. U.S. F-35s and F/A-18 Super Hornets hunted down surviving mobile missile launchers. Integrating seamlessly into this massive sortie were Israeli F-15s, equipped with newly developed Black Sparrow air-launched ballistic missiles. This allowed them to strike high-value targets with extreme velocity from hundreds of miles away, safely outside the densest anti-aircraft zones. Layer 4. Naval vessels. Beyond land, aircraft carriers. The USS Gerald R. Ford and USS Abraham Lincoln nuclear-powered carrier strike groups are central to the operation, launching continuous sorties of fighter jets and electronic warfare aircraft from the sea. Guided missile destroyers and submarines, serving as the primary launch platforms for the Tomahawk cruise missile barrages. Logistics fleet, supply and refueling ships that maintain the Naval Armada's operational endurance without needing to dock. Layer 5. Electronic warfare, surveillance, and support. The system behind the system. EA-18G Growlers, carrier-based electronic warfare aircraft specifically used to jam, disrupt, and blind enemy radar and anti-aircraft systems, clearing safe airspace for the main strike packages. AWACS and reconnaissance. E-3 Sentry and E-2 Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft, alongside RC-135 reconnaissance jets and P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, provide real-time battlefield intelligence and target tracking capabilities. EA-11 BACN, specialized aircraft acting as Wi-Fi in the sky to relay communications and data links across the vast combat zone. Aerial refueling and transport. KC-135 and KC-46 tankers, along with C-17 and C-130 cargo planes, form the massive logistical backbone needed to keep fighters in the air and to transport systems like HIMARS throughout the theater. With the heavy targets destroyed, the Mop-Up operation began. In what became the largest combat sortie in history, U.S. F-35s and F/A-18 joined roughly 200 Israeli fighter jets to hunt down remaining mobile missile launchers. Israeli F-15s fired cutting-edge Black Sparrow ballistic missiles from the air, striking targets from extreme ranges. Overhead, EA-18G Growlers blinded whatever Iranian communications were left. But epic fury wasn't just fought with explosives. It was a digital siege. U.S. and Israeli cyber units hijacked Iranian state media and mobile networks. They sent targeted SMS messages to millions of civilians, warning them to evacuate military areas and urging them to rise. The real weapon is integration. None of these layers on their own decides the outcome of a war. Their true power emerges only when they move in concert. Synchronization becomes the force multiplier. Drones provoke radar systems into revealing themselves. Electronic warfare units seize the moment, capturing critical frequency data. Missiles follow, homing in on newly exposed coordinates. Aircraft strike the weakened nodes left behind. Surveillance assets refresh the battlespace picture in real time. And the cycle begins again, each loop faster, tighter, more efficient. Modern conflict is no longer defined by who fields the most weapons. It is defined by who can connect them, fuse them, and act on the resulting data the fastest. Milliseconds shape outcomes. Bandwidth becomes a strategic asset. Logistics throughput determines operational endurance. Warfare has become a competition between networks, system against system. The strategic endgame is clear. Layered warfare seeks three outcomes: to break defensive cohesion, to compress decision cycles, and to induce psychological overload. When threats converge from every domain at once, decision-making begins to fracture, and fractured systems fail. Operation Epic Fury illustrates how major powers now design modern conflict. Layered, integrated, relentless. The battlefield is no longer a physical location. It has become a synchronized ecosystem. And within that ecosystem, integration is dominance. If this is how wars are structured today, what happens when autonomous AI begins controlling entire layers? That's the next evolution.